Alright, hey everyone, so just gonna go over the six I'm gonna bring, or the team that I've prepared for my opponent. Um, I'm gonna go over a little bit about his team first, and then show you my team. And I've written down some notes, obviously, so let me just get through that. So the team I'm playing is the Haag Darumakas. Forgive me if I mispronounced that. I'm not exactly sure where it's from, but I tried my best. It's not my first language. It's definitely not in English. Well, it is, but anyway. So the team he's bringing, or the team he owns, is Megacizor, Dragonite, Barraskewda, Roserade, Weavile, Ludicolo, Gligar, Heliolisk, Politoed, Shelmet, and Gardevoir. So based off the six that I crafted, I'm gonna make a prediction, and we're gonna see how right or wrong I am. Maybe I get fried, maybe I don't. I think the six mons to see lined up against me that would be like the hardest for me to deal with would be Politoed, Barraskewda, Megacizor, Heliolisk, Dragonite, and Roserade. Um, Politoed obviously sets the weather, can cancel out my hail. Barraskewda sweeping, Megacizor's a threat. Rain will lower any fire damage to him, and that's its real weakness, and there's no hidden power fire, so Megacizor and Rain's very strong. Heliolisk dry skin to absorb any kind of water move I might try to use against him in his own rain, as well as being able to throw thunder, be faster than most of my team. And then we got Dragonite, same thing, set up Menace. 2D dances usually can just end a game for you. It's absolutely wild. And then Roserade can throw T-Spikes. It'll benefit from not getting damaged by fire as much. Can put people to sleep. It's just a threat. So I think those would be hard to deal with. Other mons that are on his roster that I'm not positive will come. I'm not predicting them to, but if they do show up, I think they could still be a threat to my team in general. Would be stuff like Gardevoir, Ludicolo. My team has a lot of really good abilities that a Gardevoir would want to trace. So like Scarf Trace could actually be really good against my team. They could look for Intimidate off my Incineroar. You could get Misty Surge if you want to try and stop some statuses off Feeny. Sturdy, so you can't get one hit. You could even do Slush Rush and use my own hail against me, because you're faster than Arctozolt. And even Thick Fat to resist fire or hail damage. Like if they don't get in front of Arctozolt to steal the Slush Rush, just getting the resist off Venu. So I feel like a Scarf or just Trace Gardevoir in general could be still a threat. And Ludicolo, special hitters, more specially bulky, Swift Swimmer. So if it's in rain, it'll be faster than my team. Not as much, but still a threat. And then he's got three mons that I'm not as worried about, that I would be more surprised to see, but I'm a firm believer that you should draft 10 or 11 mons that you are willing to bring. So if they do show up, they're there. I've prepared for them, but I think for the six I'm bringing, these three would have the worst matchup, being his Weavile. I've got a Tapu Fini and a Rocky Helmet Skarmory that you'll see the sets on. So I feel like I just wall this mon. There's no hidden power. It's not doing anything crazy to me. He does not want that mon in front of Tapu Fini. It's either free setup, free Moonblast, or free damage. So I don't think Weavile has a great matchup, and I don't think it will be there. You never know. It is the fastest mon. One of the fastest mons in between our matchup. Barraskewda is still faster, but the second mon that I'm not as worried about is Shelmet. Brings the same hazards as Roserade. Yes, it'll benefit from fire resistance in the rain, but Megacizor is most likely guaranteed coming, and Roserade can put up the hazards a little better. It's faster, it's a little more of a threat, it can put people to sleep. So I don't believe I'll see Shelmet, but maybe he decides to run some kind of crazy set, who knows. And Gligar is the third mon I don't think I'll see. A Violet's obviously crazy, but I'm running Hail he most likely will be running Rain. So those are two types that he's not going to want to see, and he isn't going to eat. If he does eat one, he's not going to eat two of any of my ice moves. I'm also going to bring it. You can see it I've got up on the screen right now. I'm going to bring Weather Ball and Mega Venusaur. We'll go over that set in a second. But I just don't think Gligar's that big of a threat personally, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's not there. I think he has better threats to my team. So now we're going to go over each set and just kind of let you in on why I'm bringing it the way it is, and if my numbers annoy you or if you think I'm losing out on EVs, I apologize. I don't usually go too crazy into the EVs numbers unless I'm trying to pull off something very specific, because it is just for fun and it's just, a hobby and everything. So I don't kill myself trying to be like, no, I need to hit all 6 categories and I need to have minus speed and plus speed nature in it. No, it's gonna be what it is. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you win. First that I'm bringing here is Champ. They've all got their names on them, so we're gonna go over them. Champ, my Incineroar. Very excited to bring it. I'm bringing Knock, Parting Shot for Momentum, Toxic, and Fire Punch to resist the Mega Scizor. HP is very important on my Incineroar. I can't really let it die until Mega Scizor is either too low or dealt with, so I didn't want to bring Flare Blitz, and I really want to just kind of take items, be physically bulky, a little bit of attack boost in there. I made this team a couple days ago before I was able to record, so I actually don't remember why I put exactly 12 in. It might have something to do with a Fire Punch roll against Scizor in the rain. That might have been the mindset, but I don't have the calc up right now, so I'm not gonna pull it up and go crazy. I'm also bringing Toxic because the Steel type in Mega Scizor is the mon that he doesn't want to swap into because he's not sure if I'm gonna Parting Shot and lower it or Fire Punch. So I feel like in the right situation, depending on what's out, it's a pretty free Toxic for me. I just have to watch out that I don't throw it for free into Roserade, but same thing, even in rain he probably doesn't want to come in on his Roserade and eat a Flare Blitz, so I feel like the 2 Toxic resists shouldn't be the swap in, meaning in the right situation, if momentum isn't 100% required, Toxic may be good to put some of his mons on a timer. The next mon that I'm bringing is Tapu Fini, or Animal, all caps. It's got to be all caps, that's how you know it's an animal. I am running the fabled Calm Mind Scald Draining Kiss Taunt set. This set pains me because it is literally the Smogon set, but I just felt like it's really strong in this game. With there being a Dragonite, a Scizor. Well, the Scizor can beat me if he's Sword Stance and everything, so not so much the Scizor, but Dragonite, Weavile, Gligar. Really, like the main mons I don't want to see in front of this Fini are like Heliolisk, Roserade, Mega Scizor, depending on his set. If he's specially defensive, he's gonna have to Sword Stance to beat me. And if I taunt him, that's another reason Taunt's coming, and I think it's so valuable is I put a little creep in, just a little bit on this speed because Gligar's the same. So even though I don't think Gligar will show up, if it does, I should be just enough faster. Unless he runs speed, if he runs speed Gligar, then he got my ass. So so that happens. But taunting, when my terrain goes down, being able to taunt Gligar away from toxicking me, or taunt Scizor, who I'll be naturally faster than, out of being able to Sword Stance, will let me just keep clicking Calm Mind and I'll have Rain Boosted Scald, Draining Kiss for healing, and if I get big enough, this mon will just end the game. It's too strong here to not bring. If I start losing a lot of games, I might experiment with some really wild sets, but we're starting out 0-0, and we'd like to believe that we're going to start winning this season. So for this first game, I'm going to bring the least original set known to man. And so then we're going to go on to Skarmory. This one also isn't very wild. Roost to try and keep sturdy and my HP up in general because he has a lot of physical threats, so we're running Rocky Helm, max physical defense. I'm going to do all this and then I'm going to end up getting blown away by special rain sweeping Ludicolo. Just watch. So Defog, Spikes, I want to try and limit his ability to move around. As we know, my momentum is pretty lackluster. So getting some spikes up and forcing him to waste a turn either defogging or limit what he can swap in and out of because there's spikes on the field, so he can't come in and eat it multiple times because he doesn't run a lot of boots, would be huge. Also, it'll let me know immediately if I have a Banded Dragonite or a Boots Dragonite in front of me, which could be a massive deal. And then Brave Bird, his only flying resist is Heliolisk, so if the play is right, a free Brave Bird is cool. I'll have Roost to heal myself up off of it, so I'm hoping to get him in situations, get some hazards up. This set is zero fun, but I think for this first week at least, these sets will probably be not anything crazy. So the next mon I'm bringing in, is Mystic. This is where the weather wars really begin. Polytoad versus Ninetales. What are you gonna do? So on my specific Ninetales, I'm running max speed to force a potential tie with Heliolisk, as any chip on Heliolisk is a good chip on Heliolisk. I want that thing dead, so just max HP, extra EVs in special attack for just a little bit of boost, not a lot, so it's not going to make or break the day, but enough. And then speed to try and hit it. Light Clay for Veil. Veil will protect my team from stuff like that, and if I have 8 turns of it, he's gonna have to defog it or bring something to break it. Freeze Dry because he's running Rain, so I really like this move against a lot of the water types. Blizzard in general because I can't miss this when I'm in Hail, so this mon, and then Moonblast because the fairy type's broken, but he could do something as easy as Bullet Punch on Scizor, and then I think I die, so just have to watch out for that. Mega Scizor is definitely one of the biggest threats to the potential 6 that I'm bringing. Then we've got obviously our Hail Sweeper, Frozone. He's here. He's coming out week 1. We're running him Life Orb. We just want to fucking swing. We are crept to be faster than Scarf D-Knight. If he thinks he's gonna dance once and then Earthquake me and kill me, we're crept to be there. We put a little bit into the special attack boost just so this Freeze Dry can hit water types a little better. Stomping Tantrum is never bad to bring. Ground coverage is always nice. And then obviously Bolt Beak and Crash to hopefully just claim some lives. I don't have an easy pivot outside of something dying for me to come in, and I'm only going to be running 5 turns of the Hail, so I will probably be keeping this Arctozolt in the background so that I can try and get it in, like, when this becomes a sack, I'm going to try and set Hail once, let it die, and then get 3 turns of Hail, and hopefully either kill 2 or badly wound 3 so that the rest of them can clean up, or it ends the game. And then the last set we're bringing is the Drain Gang Mega himself, Venusaur. I'm running pretty simple, a little bit of a mix just to help him survive some hits from some stuff. I don't remember the exact spreads. I made this team a couple days ago, so I know there's a reason I put 164 defense and then 96 special defense. The special defense was obviously the extra to help me be more bulky, but I'm not sure as to what. I know that I probably made this in hopes that something will not 2-hit KO me, but I will be able to do something back to it. I just don't remember exactly what I made it for at the moment, but we're going to see how it performs. Sets super simple. Giga Drain for all the water types. Sludge Bomb just for stab coverage. Weather Ball. Really good chance here to be able to use this in rain and hail. So excited to bring this. It kind of, he's got to watch out for this Venusaur. He might think it's just bulky, like Synthesis, Giga Drain, Leech Seed type deal, but this thing will still chuck some weather balls at you, and they're going to be swinging if it's hail. Don't worry. And then Leech Seed, this is just to try and deter stuff like Dragonite or Mega Scizor sitting in front of me endlessly. His team is very scary. Mega Scizor is possibly lose con for me. I don't want to see Swords Dance Mega Scizor, but there's a really good chance I will. And yeah, I just gotta try and hit that thing. I gotta try and have him use that as the thing that needs to eat the hit, because my god, is this team scary. D-Knight getting big is scary. Mega Scizor getting big is scary. Barraskewda in rain is scary. I can't really send a lot out in front of Barraskewda outside of Skarmory, so I think Incineroar, Skarmory, and Ninetales are like my 3 most important mons, because I need this to sit in front of his physical threats, even though I don't do much back to them. I need this to deal with Mega Scizor for the most part, unless for some reason he lets me chip it down, like, really badly. And then I need this to turn off the rain, which might be a huge deal if I need to be faster than Barraskewda. So, yeah, like these, like the Feeny, the Arctozolt, and the Venusaur are here to almost end the game, but I have to play it extremely smart, and I know I'm going to get put into a bad position, so then we're going to have to try and to determine who is the efficient sack, and that is where I lose a lot of games. So we'll see. Going into week one, also, I'm excited to play, but I am nervous at the same time because the first game of a new season is always when you're trying to determine the relative skill of everyone playing, so you can get an idea of like, are they making doubles? Are they not making doubles? Are they prone to sacking? Do they prefer hazard play? And all those matter a lot. Usually for me, I usually always watch some replays of the person that I'm preparing for, as well as look at their team and try to think like what would, if they were looking at their own team and then looked at my team, what do they think their best six would be? Is usually a lot of ways that I like to try and look at it. So when you haven't when you haven't played yet and there's no replays to be watched, it's scary going into the game, because if you sometimes you lose the game for making like the better play and they get away with it because they didn't, if that makes sense. I'm overcomplicating it pretty much. I hate week one because I hate losing games when like I go to make a double that if we were both making doubles would be the correct play, but they stay in for no reason, and then whatever I send in on the double dies, and then I lose because I didn't get a double done and my mon died. I think that's my least favorite part about testing out week one, but I think it'll be good either way. Oh, not even good, but it'll be fun either way. The only mon on here that has been a part of any of my previous teams in any of my other leagues has been Feeney, so I know what this mon can do, but this is the first season for me with Incineroar, Skarmory. I've never run the Hail, and I've never had Venusaur as my Mega, so I wanted to get these guys out there, give them a game one, see how it goes. There's some threats on my bench that aren't coming, but I'm not going to go into them because I'm hoping to save them for some cool games coming up. And yeah, that's going to be it for the Warwick Weaviles versus the Den Haag and Darumakas. Weather Wars week 1. Time to get down and get serious, I guess. Alright, so I should be launching from this screen into the game, so I guess we're about to see if I was right on what I predicted, and good luck to everyone involved. Hey guys, so unfortunately the audio corrupted on my last video, and I realized that I was kind of too zoomed in, so I actually am just gonna, for this first video, go over like a replay, just so we can see what happened here, go over the first week of games. So I've set it to really slow to give me some time to hopefully talk about everything that's going on, but just to quickly get into it, based off of the 6 that I'm predicted, I was mostly right. Gligar's here, I'm not too scared of it. It does pose some threats, but I'm hoping to knock it and deal with it. Scizor is still super scary for my team. Heliolisk and Rain super scary for my team. No Barraskewda, which is huge. D-Knight here, and the Roserade that I assumed was coming is also here, so that can maybe throw some hazards for him. So let's go into this first play here. So I led Incineroar. I was hoping to catch an aggressive lead for him. I wanted to test to see if this was specs, and I figured I could knock and get a free item here. HP is important, but I knew I could eat at least one of those, so he goes Gligar. It was really big for me. Gives me a free knockoff, so I can take his Violet off. This mon's even less of a threat. Not that worried at all. Next, for just some momentum, see where he's going, what he's thinking, he goes to his Politoed. I Parting Shot, which is good. Not sure what this is set up as, but obviously it sets Rain. I go my own Weather, cancel that Rain out, and what we're going to do is we are going to throw up our Aurora Veil. As stated before, I am Light Clay, so 8 turns of that is huge. This does always let in Scizor. There's not a lot I can do about it. So next, I wanted to hard swap into Incineroar to intimidate this down in case he went for a dance, but he didn't. He just Megas and he starts going straight for knockoff, which is going to take my boots off, which is definitely tragic for sure. He U-turns out, which, you know, as I said before, momentum is a big problem for my team, so I can only do so much. I thought maybe he'd stay in, seeing that I was low. He didn't, so I went for a Fire Punch. See, it does about 22, so I'm going to go ahead and hard swap out of here to Skarmory. He goes and roosts here. I saw this as a perfect chance to get my hazards going. So I get him with the Rocky Helmet there. Obviously, this guy's all about momentum around my team. This lets in Heliolisk. This mon is still a threat for me, but I got that spike up, hopefully to stop some of his rotations. So then I bring this back in, and he volts. I quickly realize that this man is just momentum the movie on me, and there's not a lot I can really do. This lets in Scizor, like I said, but there's only so much I can do. So again, this time I go to Incineroar, intimidate him down. He goes straight for U-turn. I was thinking maybe he'd try a knock again to get another item, but he was aware of the situation and went right for the U-turn. Kind of got me there. I have to hard swap here, so I go back in here to cancel his rain. I should have looked more at this damage. I saw the 24 and kind of assumed that it was normal, but I forgot that Aurora Veil was up. That turn should have alerted me that he was Specs, but I didn't catch on to that. So I double here on his Scizor coming in. I should have probably knocked. Actually, no, he's going to go into Gligar. So I go back to Skarmory. Oh, he U-turned anyway. Never mind, I don't know what I'm playing. I don't even remember the replay, apparently. So I chip his Scizor down. That's kind of being dealt with, so that's not a huge deal. I see Heliolisk come in. The spike is not affecting him, so I know he's Boots, which is huge, not Scarf or Specs. I go here on his Volt Switch. This was a roll for him, and I needed... I'm going to throw a Weather Ball here, actually. Never mind, I'm in the wrong play. So that was a roll for in my favor to live. Needed to get through the confusion to throw this Weather Ball. Luckily it crits. Dragonite answered. At this point I was in a decent position, but it was still feeling like I was mostly on the back foot. I wanted to save Venusaur in case he threw a T-Spike here, so I went to Incineroar in case he threw that T-Spike, but he threw a normal Spike, and this becomes a problem because I realized that his Roserade's faster than my Incineroar, and that Sludge Bomb was a roll to kill. So I had to go for the roll. If he didn't get that roll, Fire Punch killed this Roserade. If he did, which he did, Incineroar dies, so I go here, get another roll, or get another round of Veil up. He Sludge Bombs just to chip me down. I misplay here by forgetting this spike is up against me. I should be going into, I should have went into Skarmory on that turn, but instead I threw a Blizzard, and I should have not done that. So now I finally go Skarmory, and he Scalds me, and it does 54 through Veil, and I quickly realized this was Specs, and it was going to be a problem for me, because all my mons are getting pretty low now. So then I go Venusaur on the sack, and I'm thinking, oh, I'll go and get rid of the rain so that I can stop his dry skin, and it'll also give me fast Zolt. Unfortunately, like I said, I forgot that spike is there, so I go Ninetales and kill it on the spike, not canceling the weather. So then I have to go hard Zolt with no speed boost, and the game's really not looking good for me in this point. I got the Stomping Tantrum hit on Scizor. I couldn't let this roost, so I attacked, hoping that the speed that I did invest was still enough to outspeed min speed Scizor. It was, so we secured that kill. It was looking winnable. Biggest threat to my team still at this point is Rain with Heliolisk. This roosts, which is fine. He's just wasting Aurora Veil turns, which is the right play. I hit that crash, which is good. Fortunately, I needed crit to Oko. I went for unmissable damage here, but he just chips me down even more, so I'm really only getting to use one more play out of my Zolt, take Gligar. At this point, I was just happy that I didn't get 5-0'd. I was hoping that I could play it better, but he goes Politoed. This resets the rain. I have no way to get rid of it. I have to sack Arctozolt to whatever he's going to play. He uses Weather Ball. That's fine. At this point, I'm forced to go Tapu Fini. Skarmory is too low from the Spec Scald before. I don't really have a chance to use that or get anything off. That would be super helpful. My only chance is to go for my Calm Mind setup. I have to hope that this doesn't do too much, and it does. It does 57. So I went for the second Calm Mind, hoping that I will live the next hit, because if I do, then hopefully the HP I get back from Draining Kiss will help me live through the game. I live at 1, but as you'll see, the Draining Kiss, even at times 2, only did 41, gave me 25% HP back. So with 2 turns of rain left, he just needs to honestly click Thunder 2 more times, which he does. That ends my Fini, and then I go Skarmory here, but there's no way for me to win the game at this point. which is pretty unfortunate, but I definitely made some misplays. It wasn't over. I probably could have prepped for this Heliolisk more, but in the end, I think the Heliolisk really became an issue based on how I played around it. Double sacking on the spikes was really what lost it for me in the end. If I could have gotten Ninetales in after I defogged that spike and then had Arctozolt be faster than all the Mons, then he wouldn't have gotten to click Volt Switch, he wouldn't have gotten Earthquake off, and he would have had to give me his Toad. So then maybe there's a chance, or maybe it plays out differently, so then where Feeny can set up. But I didn't have a great answer for this Heliolisk. I do have one on my team, but I didn't bring it. But GG's to the Den Haag and Darumakas. They definitely got me this first week, so I'm going to have to bounce back stronger. Unfortunate game, definitely unfortunate on the recording too, that you guys couldn't see the live reaction and live plays. I'm not sure what happened when I loaded it into Premiere. The audio is just crackling and like cutting in and out, and not exactly sure what happened. But yeah, that's it. I'll see you guys next week for the next video. Thank you, and have a good day.